Good evening and welcome to City Wrap Ramadan. My name is Ilham Al-Hamadi. Tonight we are going to be exploring the religious and cultural significance of perhaps the single most important fruit of Ramadan, as well as focusing on how to keep your digestive system in order while fasting. We will be wrapping things up with our daily Ramadan recipes, during which we will be giving you the chance to cook with us from the comfort of your home. Today we're giving away a host of prizes, including dining at some of this year's hottest iftar venues. Up for grabs this evening are a bourgeois bag worth 1,000 dirhams, vouchers to the Amara Spa Park Hyatt, vouchers to Wafi restaurants, iftar vouchers to the Address Hotels and Resorts, Lady Million Absolutely Gold Perfume, 1 million Absolutely Gold Perfume, Sally Hansen products, a watch from Paris Gallery, and a platter of gourmet dates from Batil. Keep watching to find out how you can win these incredible prizes. And now it's time for us to continue the next in our series on looking after your health during Ramadan. I'm sure many of you can relate to that uncomfortable feeling of heartburn after a heavy iftar. The good news is that this can be prevented. Marwan Parham tells us how.
Patience is one of the central virtues Muslims learn during Ramadan. Going all day without food and drink allows the person fasting to have their patience constantly tested. And it's this very virtue that holds the key to a successful iftar. While all-you-can-eat buffets offer you the chance to stuff endless amounts of food down your throat, those who want to continue feeling good will take a different approach.
During Ramadan, our diet and eating habits drastically change, and some people indulge in the wrong foods like fried foods. This is not handled well by our body and can sometimes result in gastritis and heartburn.
Gastritis is the inflammation of the lining of the stomach itself, and this could be due to excess acid, due to bacterial inflammation, which is called H. pylori, or could be also related to certain type of medication, like anti-inflammatory medications, ibuprofen, Voltron, dimethacines, in addition to other illnesses that can accompany this and causes gastritis. Heartburn by itself is the reflux of the acid and the stomach contents and the duodenal contents up the esophagus, which is we call the gullet in layman term, and this causes the heartburn, and they both, each one of them is different than the other. When we break our fast in iftar, we eat very fast, and that can bring down a lot of air down to the stomach, and that can cause a bit of burping and belching, and part of the acid also comes up. Fasting can help in 3-4 main situations. One, it resets the digestive system. That's the first instance. Second, it detoxifies the digestive system by clearing everything slowly, because your body will be working on a slower pace rather than the normal pace. 3, the food you're going to eat will be advised not to eat more fried and carbohydrate food, which stays long in the stomach. We want food to come out from the stomach easier and quicker, and this is a disciplinary effect also for the fasting during Ramadan. The first thing is that we always advise patients who have excessive acid is to avoid acidy drinks, avoid beverages, especially binging during the iftar is not good. Fried food should be avoided. We always advise to take more fruits, more vegetables. Dates is fantastic in this matter because it contains fibers, contains carbohydrates, gives you the boost of the energy from the beginning. We advise milk and yogurt in these situations, which will also stabilize the stomach acidity, alkalizes it. In addition to that, we always ask the patient during iftars to take a bit of food in the beginning and then wait and take a bit of food later on. And I think these are the main issues.
Ramadan should not be a time when you toss out your healthy eating habits out the window. Remember to enjoy a simple and healthy meal to enjoy a more happier and wholesome month.
Thanks to Marwan for that report. It's time to check out our daily Ramadan calendar filled with local attractions to find out when and where you should be this month. We're off to a quick break, but stay put because coming up, we explore the religious, historical and cultural significance of dates, not to mention their hidden health benefits. And of course, our much beloved Ramadan recipes awaits us. Welcome back to City Wrap Ramadan. Ramadan is celebrated across countless cultures and countries. But one thing you're bound to find at every iftar is the date, perhaps the single most important fruit in the holy month. Aside from its notable religious and cultural significance, dates have also been found to carry numerous health benefits. Here to tell us more from Batil is Tina Mimich, Deputy General Manager of Retail. Welcome to the show, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
Lovely. So let's start talking about the importance of dates in Ramadan. What are they?
See, dates have always been very important in this part of the world because Bedouins used to rely on it for sustenance. Religiously, they're very important because the date palm is the most mentioned plant in the Holy Quran. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has said a house without dates is an empty house. So it is very important culturally and religiously. For instance, during iftar, it's sunnah to break your fast with a date and plenty of water. So that's why it has and always will be very important.
Run us through some of the types of dates. I see you've got some.
Yeah, we have many different kinds. We have in total 20 different varieties. I brought the 7 most important with me. The first one, the ajwa, which is known to be blessed by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It is said if you eat 7 pieces a day, it keeps you healthy. Officially, it says keeps you free of black magic, but translated into today, that means keeps you healthy. It is very low in sugar, and it's often also subscribed by doctors to help you lower your blood sugar, helps prevent cancer, and things like this. Then we have the sokari, which is very famous in this part of the world. It's crunchy and in a light yellow color because the sugar crystallized. It has more sugar than the others, so if you have diabetes, this is not the date for you. It's better if you stick to ajwa or any of the other darker dates. The darker the date, the more healthy it is, the less sugar.
Interesting.
Then we have the majul, which is nice, big and flashy, and it's actually like a piece of meat when you eat it because it's also very large. Then we have kholas, which has a caramel taste, so it's my personal favorite. You have wanan, which is very large and chewy, very sweet. You have the segai, which is on the top crispy and soft on the bottom, so it's very nice because it has a twist to it. And you have the kidri, which is our most famous date. I think it is because it's mostly available. Now, all of these dates are very, very healthy. They are packed with minerals, with vitamins, with potassium, which is very good for your heart. And yeah, they help you even if you're sick. At the moment, I have a little bit of flu, so my medicine is a wanan date. And
really?
Yeah, it really makes
me. Why is that?
It's because it has a lot of vitamins. You have vitamin B, which you rarely get. And it gives you the fruit sugar you need to boost your metabolism. So it helps me through the day.
Wow, very interesting. Now, we know the general rule of supply and demand, right? And during Ramadan, obviously, the demand of the date goes really high. How does that work when it comes to the prices?
Actually, we do not change prices because we believe that would be unfair. Demand more than triples during Ramadan, but we do not hike the prices. I think that would be not ethical. So no, we want to. We are still not cheap, to be honest, because we offer very high quality dates. So the dates still cost in the very largest size around 130 dirham per kilo. But it's really worth it. They are clean. Nobody before you ever touched the date, so you are sure to be the first one to ever touch it with your bare hand. So the price is fair, and we do not increase it. In fact, we launch a lot of new items during Ramadan because it is so important.
Yes, absolutely. Now, what are some of the good quality, like the qualities of a good date? How can you tell?
You can tell by the skin, how perfect the skin is, if you see any skin damage. Now, if you look at these dates, you will see there is no skin coming off, no puffiness, no strange dots. The moment you see that, that's a lower quality date. And then, of course, it's the size. The large and fleshy dates are the most famous ones. And then after that, it's the taste, the consistency, and the juiciness.
Does the color of the dates say anything about them? Sometimes they're red and then they turn dark, and then some of them are yellow and
if they change the color, not during the ripening process, but when you kept them, then they go bad. That's correct. But usually the color is just a different kind. So the color tells you about the kind of sugar in the date. This is very interesting. The darker dates have fructose, the lighter dates have saccharose. So for diabetics, for instance, you cannot eat saccharose, so you have to stay away from the yellow colored dates.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
Very, very. Now, since we're talking about dates, and we know that there are a variety of products available, how do you see the future of the products, of dates?
I think a date will always stay very important. So what we try to do is we try to innovate and create newer things, so it doesn't get boring. So we fill dates with nuts or orange peel or ginger. We cover them in chocolate. We make balsamico out of it. We have a very nice balsamic with dates and jams. I think the date is very versatile, and you can do so many things that we are not in the end, not yet.
Lovely. That's very nice, Nola. Thank you so much for being with us. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you. It's that time of the night when we give you the chance to win thousands of dirhams worth of prizes. Up for grabs today are a bourgeois bag worth 1,000 dirhams, vouchers to the Amara Spa Park Hayat, vouchers to Wafi restaurants, iftar vouchers to the Address Hotels and Resorts, Lady Million Absolutely Gold Perfume, 1 million Absolutely Gold Perfume, Sally Hansen products, a watch from Paris Gallery, and a platter of gourmet dates from Batil. And for your chance to win, all you have to do is visit facebook.com/citywrap and answer this question. Which festival occurs at the end of Ramadan? A. Eid al-Fitr, B. Eid al-Adha, or C. Hajj? We'll be announcing tonight's winner on our Facebook page tomorrow, so make sure you check back in with us. Now, it's time for a break, but don't move a muscle. We'll be back with Ramadan recipes, and tonight's installment will teach you how to cook a delicious apple honey rosemary tart. Stay with us. Welcome back to City Wrap Ramadan. We're just about to kick off our daily Ramadan recipes, and we encourage all of you watching at home to cook alongside us. Today, we're joined by Chef Alana Doe from the Address Hotel, who will be showing us how to make a mouth-watering dessert. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, thank you for having me.
Lovely. So tell us, what are you going to cook for us?
Okay, today I'm going to be making you an apple and rosemary and honey tart.
Apple and rosemary honey tart.
I sure am.
Wow.
Yes, it's going to be nice.
So what's the first thing you're going to do?
Okay, so first thing, we need to take our apples into a hot pan.
Okay. Is there anything that you put into the pan before you put the
Just a hot
apples in?
pan.
Just a hot pan.
Just need to make sure that it's nice and hot.
Okay.
And you should start to hear it hissing. And then we need to add butter. We need to add diced rosemary, which is just finely diced.
Okay.
I'm going to sprinkle that in.
Okay.
And then lemon juice.
Lemon juice. So why did you choose this particular dish for today?
Well, we're currently serving it on our iftar menu at Ramadan at the Address Dubai Marina. And it seems to be very popular with our guests. A lot of our guests seem to like it. It's a very healthy option. I know after Ramadan, once you fasted all day, obviously it's hard to eat very heavy desserts. It's quite a light dessert. It's got apple in it, which is one of your 5 a day. So it's nice to eat.
That's nice. And rosemary.
Yeah. And rosemary, yeah. It's good. It's not too sweet, which sometimes desserts can be overpowered by being too sweet, which is not what we want.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what you need to do is you cook your apple down until your apple starts to become soft. When your apple starts to soften, you add your honey.
How much honey are you adding?
I'm adding 100 grams of honey.
Okay.
And again, honey is a natural sweetener. It's natural. It's not forced cane sugar, so it's not too sweet when you're eating it. And it balances out nicely with the acidity of the apples and the lemon juice.
Where does this dessert come from? What's the history?
I originally came from England, and I brought it over here with me.
Okay.
We used to serve it a lot in England on buffets and banquets. It was quite popular. Obviously, the apple was very, very easy to get hold of in England. We have a lot of them, so we use them quite a lot. So what we do is we cook this down.
All right.
This takes about 20 minutes to cook down until it becomes a nice compote.
Okay.
And that will turn into what looks like this. So when this is cold, this is how this will look. It will resemble itself.
Colour's going to change.
So we'll leave that there to cook down.
Okay.
Okay. The next step is we're making a caramelised pine nut crust. So
I like
again,
the sound of that.
it's something different. It's you don't want too much sugar again, and the pine nuts are nice. It's not like it's too heavy, and nuts are quite healthy. So
you have to be very careful with the pine nuts, right? Because if they start getting a little too dark.
Yeah, you don't want it too dark, but we do like it quite dark because it gives it colour and flavour. If it's caramelized, it's going to taste better than if it's not caramelized.
All right.
So this is quite dangerous. You have to be careful when you're doing this because it's very hot. Okay. So we've got sugar, just raw sugar that we're putting in a pan, and we need the pan to be hot enough to caramelize the sugar. So this will take place slowly, and then we'll stir this on while we're waiting.
Okay. Why did you use green apples in particular?
Green apples tend to break down easier. You don't want too much chunky apple. You want it into a nice puree. See how here it's all broken down? You want your apple to break down slightly, and green apples do, particularly Granny Smiths. I'm a big fan of Granny Smith apples. They break down very nicely. Not so much that you get, like, if you use a Braeburn apple, it's just pure mush. If you use like a Granny Smith apple, you'll have some chunks, some mush, which is nice because you need texture. You don't want, otherwise it will taste like, resemble baby food. If you know what I mean?
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
Don't want
So that's cooking off nicely. While we're waiting for that one, here's some tart shells that I made earlier. So you just use a basic sweet pastry, line a tart shell in the oven and cook it off. And then once it's cooked, then you can fill it with your apple mix.
Okay.
So you want to put it in the tart shell, not too much, just to fill it up so it's level.
Okay. So you're not going to use any cream or custard or anything in this dessert?
Again, you want it light. Custard and cream tends to make desserts heavy.
Yes.
Which is not what we're looking for here. We're looking for a nice light dessert that you can, I mean, you can make these, you can make it in a bigger version and then cut it into portions, or you can make individual ones. I like to make individual desserts because for me, it's more personal, you know, for the guests.
And it looks nicer too.
Yeah, if everybody has their own one, then we're happy. There's no fighting. What we need to do is fill these up. Once they're nice and full, we're going to make the crust. So the crust is basically the caramelized sugar, and then we add butter to it. Because caramel, when it's cooked down, it's hard. It's like, it's very, very hard. You don't want that on your teeth. So we add a small amount of butter to the caramel, which softens it up. Yeah, and then it's nice to eat. So that one's done, that we made earlier. So. Sugar takes quite a long time to break down. It depends on the grain. If you have a very fine grain sugar, it will start to dissolve a lot quicker. If you have quite, this is, normally we have caster sugar, but this is like quite a thick granulated sugar, so it takes a little bit longer to break down.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes left.
2 minutes, okay, no problem. So what will happen is that will caramelize. We'll add our toasted nuts to it.
Okay.
And then you end up with something that looks like this one. So this is just the toasted pine nuts off with the sugar that's all caramelized. So then we place this one on top.
Okay. Why pine nuts? Why not?
Because pine nuts are, it's a nice nut. It's quite oily. It has natural oils in it. So it's nice to use. It's got a nice crunch, but it's not too flavorful. You know, it's got natural flavors. So basically you pile on your pine nuts on the top, like that. And then once you've got your pine nuts on top, you whack it in the oven. And you're cooking it at about 180 for about 10 minutes.
Okay. 10 minutes, 180.
And what will happen is all the caramel from the pine nuts will melt down into the tart shells. And you'll end up with something that looks like that.
Okay, so this is what our final product's going to look like.
And then what we serve it with is we take just some whipped cream with some vanilla seeds, which is it's very easy to do.
Okay, so how much whipped cream and how much vanilla?
It's 10%. We work on 10% because then that way it's evenly incorporated. It's a nice amount and it's enough for everyone to have a little bit of vanilla. Otherwise, some people use vanilla extract, which is also fine. It's no problem.
Okay.
And then we can take the cream and we can on top.
Oh, wow. Lovely. You see, this is totally worth coming down to the address for their iftar. Yummy. Looks gorgeous.
And then I've made a quick little sugar garnish to garnish this off with.
Sugar garnish?
Yeah. How long have we got?
A minute.
A minute. We can do this in a minute. No problem. So basically, this is more sugar that's already dissolved, which would be like that in a minute.
Okay.
When that one cooks. So what you do is you just warm it up slightly. Until it becomes a little bit liquid.
Okay.
And then you take something that's non-stick, like a silpat mat. We use silpat mats at work. Or you can take, it's not loose enough. Make it a little bit looser.
Oh, it needs to be hot.
Yeah. If it's too stiff, it won't work. You need it to be a little bit runny.
Okay, we've got about 30 seconds left.
No problem.
Okay. Did you use lemon juice in this sugar mixture?
No.
No?
You don't want any water in there.
Okay, so what is it exactly? Just sugar?
It's just sugar. See how this one is starting to dissolve?
Oh, okay. But how come it's not changing color though?
Because it's on a very low heat. You do it slowly.
Okay.
So this one, you take it and you can dribble it until you get like a nice effect, like that.
Okay.
And I'll show you some. I have some I made earlier.
Oh.
And then you end up with something that looks
Pretty.
like this.
I wouldn't want to eat that. It looks
That's
so
what everyone
nice.
else says because it looks too good.
Yes. Looks very good.
And then you can garnish it off with a little bit of rosemary.
Nice. Yummy.
Okay.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing this delicious recipe with us today.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Lovely. Thank you. It was a pleasure. So that's a wrap on tonight's City Wrap. On tomorrow's show, we'll be back with a special focus on how technology is lending a helping hand to Muslims during the holy month. Have a wonderful evening with your families. Good night.